Have you ever felt completely drained after being in somebody's presence? Or maybe you had a conversation that left you out of whack and thrown off emotionally and mentally? If you answer yes, chances are you've been dealing with energy vampires. Let's talk about it. So first and foremost, what is an energy vampire? As the term states, it's anybody who drains you of your energy and your mental capacity and your space and your peace. A lot of these people are high maintenance. They require a bunch of attention and they make almost every conversation all about them. Now, on the other hand, some of these people are very charismatic. They're go-getters, right? They're very confident. They're brash. They can be extremely charming and likable, but they can also be extremely vindictive. They can be extremely selfish, and they can be extremely manipulative. A lot of energy vampires are overly narcissistic, and a lot of times they're not even fully aware of how toxic they really are. They're parasitic in nature, right? They drain you of everything you have inside of you, and you don't even always see it. A lot of times it may feel like symbiosis, you know? They parade around as if the relationship is healthy, but it's completely one-sided. And as soon as you're drained and they've gotten everything they can get out of you, naturally they're gonna look elsewhere to see who else they can drain. And typically the people most at risk are gonna be the empaths, the people who are very compassionate, very caring, very eager to please and to appease other people to make things better or make things smooth over. And let's be very clear, this can come in any form: family, friend, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, teacher, colleague, boss, it doesn't matter. Anybody can be an energy vampire. And let's be honest too, a lot of us have been energy vampires to other people before, even if we didn't know it. So what I'm gonna do is go over some signs on how to spot energy vampires, some of the risks involved with being around energy vampires, and then some tactics and some ideas to help you rid yourself of them to live a more fulfilled and a happier life in the long run. Energy vampires consistently dump information on you. They dump problems on you. They don't vent, they dump. So let's talk about the difference between dumping and venting. Venting can be healthy, right? It can help somebody get some clarity, some understanding, a support system to help them through whatever problem they have. That's what venting is. But venting acknowledges the other person. Venting also takes accountability in the process of, man, here's how I reacted in this situation. Here's where I played a part. This is where I may have contributed to the situation going a certain way. Now, dumping includes no awareness and no self-accountability at all. Dumping is just completely blaming the world for your problems. Oh my God, this went wrong. How could they do that to me? I can't believe it. Do you think that, like, what did I do? I didn't even do anything wrong. What's wrong? A whole bunch of jibber jabber. They're finger pointers. They're super into victimization and playing the victim. They never take accountability or blame for anything that they've ever done because they're never the problem. Energy vampires are never the problem to them. And the thing is, if you disagree with them, they're going to turn it on you and make you feel bad for doing so and turn you to the bad person so they can also become a victim of whatever you did to them. That's what energy vampires do. Speaking of make you feel bad, energy vampires are master manipulators and they guilt trip. They're the kings and queens of guilt tripping. So say if you're talking to somebody, right, and they bring something up that they want you to do or they want somebody to do, and if you hear some of these phrases, right, oh, if you love me, you would do this. Or if you really cared, a real friend would do this. A true friend, a true lover, a true this would do that. Those are key terms that energy vampires will use to make you feel obligated to do something for them or to be there for them in a certain capacity. And then if you're not there, you feel guilty because they make you feel like it's a bad thing to not always be available and at their beck and call. And you being somebody who's going to go above and beyond to make that person feel better or to help them out in any way, you're going to do that thing so you don't feel guilty, so they don't blame you, so you don't become a bad friend, lover, co-worker, whatever the case may be. And it drains you every time. Something else they do is fake praise, right? They'll mention something. They'll say, for instance, oh, I can't believe Sasha would do this to me, but you would never do that. You're such a great friend, right? Why can't everybody be as nice as you or as kind as you? Man, I can't believe this happened to me. I wish everybody was on your level. I wish everybody was as generous as you are and as open to helping me as you are. Fake praise, right? They're praising you for your qualities that are beneficial to them, but there's never any give back. There's never any reciprocation. It's always, what can I get from you? Now let me praise you for it so you think I'm doing you a good thing and a favor. You think that what you're doing for me is helping you as well, but it's not. It's only helping the energy vampire. They're always involved in some type of drama. They're addicted to drama. They don't know how to operate without being in drama. They're kings and queens of gossip, right? They always know the gossip going on. They always know somebody's issues in their relationship, or they always bring you some issue in their relationships, right? There's never any good news. They have a habit of being very unpredictable and also volatile. So imagine if you're in public, right, and you're with somebody, and every time you go out, you have to worry about them getting into an argument or a fight with somebody, or placing you in a position of danger or turmoil every time. So you're gonna have to be extra guarded at all times around them, because you don't know what that person can put you at risk of. That person's an energy vampire. You know how much that takes out of you to babysit a grown adult? If you find yourself always being a fixer-upper in your relationships, you're probably dealing with some energy vampires. Keep it a buck. Be honest with yourself. Another thing energy vampires will always do is shift the topic to themselves. No matter what the conversation is, they always bring the mood down or make it about them. So say you guys are talking, right, and you're like, man, I just had a pretty rough day at work. You know, I'm not really feeling like myself today. I just need some time. What they're gonna do is, instead of saying, oh, I'm sorry, is there anything I can do for you? You know, do you need space? Do you need me to leave you alone for now? We can talk later. They're never gonna do that. Energy vampires are gonna hear you say, man, I had a rough day at work. And what they're gonna respond with is, oh man, I'm sorry you had a rough day at work, but at least your job is fun. Not like, you gotta help me find a new job. Your job is fun at least. How can you complain about that? They suck the life out of every conversation doing things like that. Or if you say, hey, I'm just a little tired today, they're gonna respond with something like, man, I know you're really tired, but I really need to talk to you about this boy problem. Oh my God, you have to talk to me. I just don't know what I'm gonna do. Leave them alone. These people are energy vampires. They will never allow a conversation to be about you. There's no back and forth. It's always, oh, let me hear what they got going on. Let me one up them and make them feel like whatever they're dealing with is not as important as what I have to do, what I got going on, what's going on in my life. Selfish. So if you find yourself making up a bunch of false excuses about why you can't talk or things you can and can't do just to get away from somebody's time or presence, you're probably dealing with somebody that's an energy vampire. Another thing, they are very jealous and controlling and possessive. Have you ever had a friend or somebody that you've been around that whenever you're in a social setting, a party, a kickback, a networking event, anything, they go out of their way to monopolize your time and attention? Every single time. They feel like they have to own you and only have you for themselves, to the point where if you talk to somebody else, they feel jealous. Or they get mad. What were you guys talking about? You didn't think to invite me over? You can't include me? They're very controlling over your time. Even when you guys are not together, they become very ill-tempered when it comes to your time and you spending it the way you want to spend it if it doesn't include them, right? This is what they do. If you go somewhere with another friend, oh, but we were supposed to do that. I mean, I guess if you wanted to go with her, you could have just asked her first. Why did you? It's always something to make it about them. It's always like that. Or something else they'll do is they'll take advantage of your kindness and your generosity and your inability to say no and set boundaries. So they'll always ask you about, let's meet at a coffee shop, let's go here, let's do this, let's do that, because they know you won't say no. Because they know you'll feel guilty for saying no, because they've guilted you for saying no before. Something else energy vampires do is they keep score and they give you ultimatums. So every time you're asked to do something for them or to be there for them in a certain way, they always bring up what they've done for you. And they always belittle yours to make it seem like theirs is so much more important. So if they ask you, hey, can you help me do my hair this weekend? And you're like, nah, I'm sorry, I got a family thing going on, I got an event, anything. But remember that time where I didn't go to my family event to come help you? And it's like, yeah, but these are two separate situations. But they're gonna make you feel terrible about doing what you wanna do if it doesn't involve them. They're keeping score. They only do things for you to be able to bring it back and throw it in your face later to make you do something for them. It's very selfish. And a lot of times these requests become demands or ultimatums. So it's like, oh, if you're going on a vacation and she has a party to go to or something, she invites you to the party, you're like, oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm going to be on vacation. What they'll do is they'll say, oh, well, it's either the vacation or me or this friendship. If you go on vacation, you can go. I mean, do what you want. But if you go, just know this friendship is over. Now you're caught between a rock and a hard place because that energy vampire is draining you and not allowing you to be a free person and be yourself. That's not good. Lastly, they disrespect, they belittle, and they degrade you every chance they get. These are the people that will usually, they'll skip out on events that you guys plan together, right? They'll skip out just because, with no call, no show, right? They'll humiliate you in public to fit into a crowd or to appease other people or to seem more important, you know what I'm saying? Or to fit in more. They'll do all of that to prop themselves up. They'll call you names. Usually they're gonna make you the butt of the joke for no reason. This is somebody that's gonna say they're your best friend or whatever. They love you, they care about you, they value and cherish you. Yet when you get out into a situation where there's some other social class that they're trying to ascend into, they go out of their way to make you the butt of the joke so that nobody jokes about them and they become propped up on a higher level. to equal whatever social class they're trying to fit in. Watch out for these kind of people, yo. They don't have your best interests at heart at all. So let's talk about the risks of being around energy vampires. Let's just say the main one, right, is chronic stress. And the reason why I say it's the main one is honestly the only one I'm really going to talk about because of what it leads to. And especially when the vampire is somebody that you can't really avoid. This puts a huge weight on your shoulders, and it honestly just leaves you empty and devoid of all motivation, self-love, and care. And it just makes you a terrible person compared to who you would like to be and who you truly are deep down. Makes you a shell of yourself. Dr. Christiane Northrup actually has a book called Dodging Energy Vampires, where she details how chronic stress can affect you in negative ways. It negatively affects the immune system, the cardiovascular system, the neuroendocrine system, and the central nervous system. So any victim of an energy vampire is going to be at much higher risk of things like high blood pressure, depression, anxiety, thyroid issues, cardiovascular issues, autoimmune diseases. There's all types of problems that come with being around somebody that consistently drains you and never enriches you. Scientists have also found that people who live with the cognitive dissonance from an energy vampire relationship, they have brain changes similar to people who have experienced PTSD, which of course can come from childhood traumas, from war, from things that happen in the projects with violence and drugs. People who deal with energy vampires sometimes have brain changes very similar to people who experience PTSD. That is very dangerous. And a bunch of people who are victims as well also sometimes show signs of Stockholm syndrome, where they confuse that vampire relationship for love. It's hard to avoid if you're not able to spot it and move accordingly. This massive energy drain can make you less motivated, less optimistic, less confident, and it can really steer you off of the path that you're supposed to be on. It makes you a shell of who you're truly supposed to be, and that's very dangerous for anybody. And I think it's worth it for us to monitor the relationships we have so that we avoid people who drain us. Why would we continue to be around people who drain us? We need to find ways to be enriched and empowered and loved genuinely so that we can be our best selves and keep bringing light to the world. Now let's talk about how to protect yourself from energy vampires. First and foremost, if you're not obligated to be around them or to talk to them, cut them off. Completely cut them off. Delete them on social media, block them on social media, delete their number, block their number, don't talk to them, don't call them, don't hit them on Facebook, don't hit them on IG, don't ask about nobody about them, don't do anything involving them. Cut them completely off and don't give any explanations. You don't owe them that, because energy vampires don't deserve that space in your life. If you want to explain to them, go ahead, feel free. But you don't owe them an explanation for all the years that they've consistently drained from you and made you a worse version of yourself and never given anything back of value. You don't owe them anything. Cut them off. Next, set boundaries and be firm about your boundaries. If you can't meet at the coffee shop, tell them, oh no, I cannot meet at the coffee shop. If they want to talk on the phone or FaceTime all the time, maybe you say, look, I can text. Or if we talk, man, I only got 30 minutes, I can't do 2 hours. Because when you allow them to take that time, like you say, you give somebody an inch and they take them out, right? So now, if you only got 30 minutes of capacity, right, or even free time, and now you get past that 30-minute threshold, that next hour and a half is going to be taken away from who you are. It's going to drain you. It's not going to benefit you at all. It's not to say that you should only care about your own benefit, but you should care about your self-being and your self-worth first, because that's going to allow you to be any type of good friend or lover or partner, whatever the case may be. You have to care about yourself more. And with that being said, man, you have to dive into self-care and self-love. It is so important. You have to put yourself first. Get into meditation, get into yoga, get into anything that's going to make you feel peace from within, not peace from an external source. Because a lot of people, if you're putting up with energy vampire relationships, you're probably unsure about your self-worth in some capacity, right? You're probably a little bit unclear about who you truly are. Because nobody should have to put up with that. Any relationship should be symbiotic. There should be value on both sides. Both people contribute something and bring something to the table that benefits the other person and helps them live a more fulfilled life. Because when you spend more time caring about yourself, your value, your personal sense of value is going to go way up. You're going to be way less susceptible to accepting anything less than what you deserve. That's just a basic byproduct of caring about yourself and putting yourself first. Because look, energy vampires can only drain what's available. They can only drain what's available. If you don't react, if you don't allow them that space, if you have a wall that's not going to allow them in to drain you, they have nothing to drain. And just like a vampire, after a while, they're going to look for something else to drain, somebody else to drain. When they find out it can't be you, now look, you might lose friendships, you might lose some relationships, but it's well worth it because you're getting rid of a toxic person that was making you worse, and you're giving more of yourself to yourself. And now your life is so much better. Watch how much more peace you have when you get rid of energy vampires. Man, shout out to everybody that's watching the video. Like, subscribe. Let me know what y'all want me to talk about next. Please, please, please get rid of the energy vampires in your life, because you deserve to bring light to this world in the way that you were supposed to. Love, that's all I got for you.